within those roles as a father, as a dad, as a husband, even as a lover. So I'm going to go to a couple of my philosophies. I have a philosophy on marriage. One of my philosophies, and I'm going to tell you, I'm very biased, so I will try and put my biases out front so you all know where they are. I do not believe in a 50-50 marriage.
Speak. Amen. Speak. No such thing.
There's no such thing. There's 50-50 implies you do your half, we'll meet somewhere in the middle. It rarely works out that way. Then I used to believe in a 100-100 marriage.
Uh-oh, Dave.
Yeah, y'all caught that. I used to. Let me show you what 100-100 implies. So 100-100 begins to look like this. You do your 100 and I'll do my 100.
Uh-oh.
However, if I perceive you no longer doing your 100, I'm not doing my 100.
Come on. Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I use myself as an example. Sometimes I look across at my wife and I'm like, look, I know that's not 100%. I become critical, judgmental, and start, evaluating and get my feelings hurt. And the moment I look at my wife and I say, ooh, you only doing 80%, honey. I might not say that out loud, but it comes across in my attitude. After 20 years, you figure out, you don't say certain things.
Come on, Doc. That's right.
And so the moment I look at her and I perceive she's doing 80%, guess how much I'm gonna do?
80.
Oh no, y'all give me too much credit.
60.
I'm a little lazy. I'm gonna do 70. And guess what? The moment I do 70%, guess what my wife is gonna see? What's she gonna see?
60%.
There it is! You see, you've been there, huh?
Watch it, brothers. Watch it.
So the moment I do 70, my wife is not going to give me any extra credit. She's going to perceive me doing 60. Oh, okay, I got it. And so now we have a war of attrition. And it goes back and forth. And we're going to see who gets to the bottom the fastest. And it goes back and forth. And we become critical, judgmental. And we start evaluating. And we start imposing. We're like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. Well. And at the end of the day, then it's stuck there. Well, I'm not doing it if you don't do it. Well, I'm not doing it. Well, you do it. Well, I'm not doing it either. Forget it. And then you have what's called emotional gridlock. You're stuck. Any math majors out there? Anybody enjoy math?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anybody enjoy numbers? What about dollar signs?
Yes.
I am going to put up a mathematical equation in words. If then. That is a mathematical equation for a condition. If you, then I. Since you, now I. Because of you, now this. And so then the relationship becomes conditional. And most people say, yeah, I believe in an unconditional relationship, but then all of a sudden it starts to look like this. This is a conditional relationship, and we get stuck. This relationship causes many marriages to fail. This relationship causes many families to get stuck. And they start looking at each other and they start wanting something from, the only way I do this, and it turns into bribery. Well, unless you, well then I, and you're stuck. Because the moment I figure out you want something from me, guess what I'm tempted to do? I ain't giving it to you. And we have this streak in us that the Bible tells us to fight and be kind, be gentle, be loving, but it comes out naturally. We don't. We just all of a sudden, got it. And most people say, well, it's because you lack communication. Well, you don't lack communication. You know exactly what your partner wants. You just don't want to give it to them. They don't even get it accidentally. Amen. All right, so now, I told you I no longer believe in a 100-100 relationship. I had to evolve. I had to grow. And I'm going to tell you, life is funny. Life will send you to events, and God will put things in your way. Anybody ever pray for patience? Oh, man. I'm going to tell you, the moment you pray for patience, watch out for your adversities. They will come because God will send things your way to help you develop those patient muscles. And if you pray for peace, watch out for turmoil. I mean, if you pray for wisdom, watch out for problems. You're going to get opportunities to develop those problems, those wisdom skills. Whew. So, in my youth, I was exuberant and dumb and prayed for patience. prayed for wisdom, and faced many years of trials and tribulations. So this is where I began to realize, and I'm gonna put something on top of here so you can see this. I'm gonna put an H for husband. You can put F for fathers, because this applies to being a father as well. You can put S for son. Whatever role you play. And over here, I'm just gonna put a W to represent my wife. What I begin to realize is now I really believe in what God tells us to do, a 100-0 relationship.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna tell you, it is so difficult to do my 100%, even at the risk that my partner is doing nothing. That's hard.
It's rich.
Because most of us, we like, I want something out of it. So and I hear this all the time. Hey, Doc, you mean to tell me if I stay and I keep giving and she gives me nothing, I still gotta stay? You don't have to. You choose to. That's hard. To love somebody, even at the risk, they won't love you back. Sound familiar? You know how God loved us first?
That's right.
And sometimes it takes us a while to get caught up to loving God back in the way that we should, putting Him first. That is the model and the standard that applies to a marriage, a family, a relationship. I have to be willing to put all of me into this relationship, even at the risk of knowing my partner's not doing her part. Let me show you something. I'm gonna put a line down through here. This right here caught me off guard, but then someone pointed it out to me. My responsibility as a husband can never be shared.
Uh-oh.
It's always my responsibility. It's interesting. Responsibility can never be shared and given to someone else when it's yours. And many times we try and blame and say, I didn't do it because of. It doesn't work. My responsibility, or my wife's responsibility as a wife, is between her and God.
Come on, Doc.
And most of the time, I'm trying to get her to do her part, only because I think it makes me easy. It makes my part easy. It doesn't work that way.
All right.
But the moment I begin to weave my life in and out of what God tells me to do, it doesn't matter what my wife is doing. It does, but it doesn't. Who's set to be the leader?
You are.
Who's set to be an example?
You are.
Oh man. And what does the Bible, who does the Bible say to love your wife? It's a pretty interesting phenomenon. I mean, we start to think about it. It tells us to love. What does it tell the wives to do?
Respect.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you control that?
No.
I like to think I could, but I can't. But I can set the stage. And the way I set the stage is through my actions, through my love, through my being present. So that's why I say I no longer believe in a 100 relationship.
Good stuff.
It takes a strength of character to truly love somebody. Loving somebody is not for the weak. Hey, think about it. Loving somebody this way, kind of like agape love. You got to do it even when you don't like them.
That's right.
I'll tell you, there are times when we look at, my wife, I told her I was going to tell this story, so I do have permission. So if ever y'all meet her, you'll understand.
See you soon.
So, in our house, my wife is the one that wears her emotions on her sleeves. She's kind of, when she gets upset, the whole house knows it. Y'all know how it goes. And so the joke in our house is whenever mama gets upset, watch out. And so the kids have this thing that say, hey, you got your go bag ready? It's like, grab your bag and go. Mama's upset. And I'll tell you, my wife has a telltale sign on how to tell when she's upset and angry. And most of the time as a husband, we're thinking, well, I just want you to be happy. I don't want you to be angry. We're trying to avoid that, that fury. And that controls us sometimes. Because we're like, I don't know if I should say this. And you second guess yourself. But integrity is, I gotta say it anyway. I gotta do it anyway. Even at the risk of getting your fury. So my wife, she has these very beautiful blue eyes, typically. Until she gets angry and frustrated. And the blood rushes up. And I kid you not, y'all think I'm joking. And her eyes turn green.
Yep.
Literally green.
My man.
So we look at her, we're like, ooh. And so the kids have learned when mama comes in, and you can always tell she's joking because her eyes are still blue. It's like, okay, all right, it's a good joke. But when she comes in, it's like, look, and she, middle names come out. I thought, and my wife used to be in the Army too, so the hand goes like this. You know those gestures that don't go away? So she would look and her eyes would turn green, and I'm gonna tell you, the whole house stops. And we begin to say, oh man, do I risk it? Do I say anything? Do I say what needs to be said, or do I just wait it out? And so being loving, being kind-hearted a man as I am, sometimes. So you have to be patient and sometimes accept, okay, you have a bad day. Even if I didn't do it, even if I didn't cause it, it doesn't change me doing my 100%. Some people, well, you yelled at me, so now therefore I must. And that sets the tone. And many, what's the old saying? A happy wife, a
Happy life.
It don't exist.
Uh-oh.
We like to think it does. And when we go down that road of trying to make someone happy, sometimes we violate our own integrity. And we stop doing our 100% just to keep them happy or calm, or we begin to manipulate.
You teaching.
Amen. That's right.
Amen.
So, whether or not my wife is happy, now there's some things I can do to make her miserable. That's my part. But there's some things that I can't do. And her happiness becomes something that she has to work out between her and God. I can teach, set the foundation, and be there and be available and be an ear. But if I start to violate my own integrity and start to change the way I do business and start to withhold who I am, all of a sudden the relationship changes. Can you respect someone that has no integrity? Now, what are our wives called to do? Yes. If I start to violate my own integrity as a man, as a husband, as a father, and not come up and be who I am, all of a sudden, now my wife's sense of respect, boom, goes down. That's how that begins to happen. Somebody give me a tissue real quick. I'm going to erase this. There's some other things I want to throw up there. Thank you.
This is good.
One of the things that I said earlier that I'm unconventional, I'm different. I want to tell you a little bit about my background. As a marriage and family therapist, oftentimes you will see things pop up in the media that I think about and I ponder and find that it's not biblical. And if it ain't biblical, guess what? It's probably not going to work.
My man.
And there's some things within a marriage, God set it in place because what? It works.
Okay.
You know, and so just like the attitude of always trying to make someone else happy or be something that you're not, that's popular, but it doesn't work.
My.
It really changes the dynamics of the relationship to where now some of the things that we're promoting, even, and I'm gonna pick on my field, even as marriage and family therapists, we begin to promote, well, just do what makes you happy. All of a sudden, you know, when we start going down that road, we find out, I don't know why the relationship broke up. I told him just to do what made him happy. I mean, there's a lot of things I like to do that make me happy, but it ain't good.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of things that's like, I mean, we don't always pursue happiness, but we pursue what is right. We pursue what is just, what is noble. We go down that road. Let me tell you a brief story. I was sharing with Mario earlier. I said I'm a storyteller. I enjoy telling stories when I do therapy. What I find is that fables, people can reach out and touch a fable and understand, okay, he's talking about me. But it's not so threatening that it's down your throat. And you know, Jesus was the master on telling parables. You're like, okay, got it. And you knew he was talking about you, but you couldn't say nothing.
Right.
You could just breathe like, okay, Lord, I understand. So I developed this technique called fable therapy. And so I tell short stories and people look at me like, okay, got you. Because you realize, well, you're talking about me. But the beauty about a fable is whether or not the person takes the advice and goes home and changes is totally up to them.
Amen.
Most of the time I hear people that come to me and they say, but we're so different. How are we together? You ever heard that phrase, opposites attract? It does. It's amazing how opposites attract, but they repel when they're under stress. You know, many marriages repel when they're stressed out, but when, you know, they're operating without stress, they do well. Let me give you an example. In our house, I am not the organized one. My wife calls me the absent-minded professor because I am in 20 different places at one time. But my wife is very precise, very organized, very consistent. So her strengths nullify my weakness.
Amen.
Amen.
That's good.
But if I'm frustrated, guess what it's easy to do? If I'm angry, it's easy to pull out her strength and twist it as a weakness. But you always so nitpicky. Without realizing, her strength is what's strengthening me. On the same token, in our house, I may be the one that is the saver, and my wife may be the one that's the spender. But when we get together, it works great until we're stressed. And guess what I'm gonna do? We start picking out on their weaknesses. So what I ask people to do is look to each other and recognize that the other person's strengths will nullify your weakness.
Good.
But your strengths will also nullify their weakness when the two get together. So what's the solution? I'm not saying ignore their weakness. Just don't focus on it. You have your weakness. Someone finish the verse for me. Before you remove the log from your brother's eye.
Take the beam out of your
The beam, the speck out of your brother's eye, I'm sorry. And take the beam out of your own.
That's right.
Same thing applies even within a relationship. Because it's so easy to look across and go, oh! And we remember earlier I said we become critical, judgmental, overbearing. And all of a sudden, I'm going to say that resentment begins to build up. So once upon a time, there was this dolphin that used to go in and out of this cove. And it went to this certain cove because there was some great fish within this cove. And along the way, it came across this magnificent eagle. And the eagle would swoop in and out, and the dolphin was fascinated by the eagle. And wouldn't you know it, they struck up a conversation. And they began going to the same places. They began swimming together, and the dolphins jumping in and out of the water, and the eagles flying beside there, having this nice conversation. And they said, we are together more than we are apart. We should just get married. But we're so different. I know, and I love that about you. I'm so fascinated. And so the eagle and the dolphin got married.
Okay.
And so as they're going in and out of life, having a good time, the eagle got a little worried and concerned and insecure about the dolphin spending so much time in the water with all the other dolphins. So the eagle says, honey, I know this will be difficult, but I need you to get up in the air and stay with me. Stay on the surface. You don't need to be going down in the water because, it's better up here. And so the dolphin, wanting to make the eagle happy, says, I know it's not good for me to be up in there, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so the dolphin began to spend more time in the air, it's with the eagle all the time. And the skin began to dry off, sunburn. It was just cranky, irritable, was not in its own element. And so the dolphin's like, look, if you really love me, you will come down in the water with me. Because I cannot survive in the air, so I need you to come and do it my way. And so the eagles thought about it and said, well, I want to make the dolphin happy. Because, a happy dolphin, a happy life is a happy dolphin. There you go. So we're going to go ahead. Okay. So the eagle was spinning in and out of the water with the dolphin, and the eagle just couldn't breathe. It was just like starting to suffocate. And feathers began to deteriorate. Just wasn't thriving, wasn't in its element. And the eagle's like, I can't keep doing this. I'm only fooling myself by thinking I can do it your way. So the question, where should they live? Where do they thrive the best?
Each and every one.
Absolutely. Each began to go back to the way they were and be who they are. Thrive in their own element in order to build something together. Think about it. When two great oak trees are planted side by side, they can never grow in each other's shadow. You have to have your space and be who you are in order to be supported.